I'm holding here a paper that came out in Science of 26th of March 2010 in the part related to medicine, and it talks about the future of psychiatric research, genomes and neural circuits. And it's an opinion paper that is written by Nobel-winning authors like Sidney Brenner, Eric Kandel, and James Watson. And it is very interesting. The paper starts by calling for new perspectives and more sophisticated understanding of causes of mental disorders. It talks about the frustration of having no progress in this field, which calls to new ways of looking at it, new ways of thinking about finding the causes of mental disorders. And what are these perspectives that they're offering, suggesting? They call for identifying mutations that cause neural circuit malfunctioning that will serve as a biological marker for mental disorders. And I ask, what is new about it actually? Biological markers, this approach has been failing for more than 30 years. There is no one-to-one linear cause and effect between some kind of physiological function and mental disorders, especially in the brain. The brain is known to be non-linear system, and thus a much more complex relationship should be searched for, and actually there should be some kind of new thinking, new way of thinking about it. So what they call for is like comparing specific neural circuits to specific mental disorders is actually a repetition of something that didn't really succeed till now. For example, hyperactivity of the amygdala related to anxiety, and so on. It even reminds us of the old way of localized brain functions, which today we know is incorrect. The brain is a system, is a whole brain system, and there is no reason actually to go back and to adopt an approach of localistic attitude and relationship between mental disorders and specific brain regions. And in addition to that, the authors call for new perspectives, and the new perspectives are already here. They already exist, and they're not mentioned at all. Not mentioned at all in the paper. For example, there is a whole field of looking at the brain as a nonlinear system, as a complex system, which actually has a great potential for us to start and define mental disorders as disorders of brain organization. And this is not mentioned. For example, the idea of matching complexity, that much has been written about it by the group of Edelman and Tononi. And the idea of free energy that was recently developed by Carl Friston and the system of dynamic causal modeling that tries to understand how the brain integrates different regions of activity. The idea of emergent property is not discussed at all. Emergent property, how mental functions arise from a physical complex system, nonlinear system, and optimization dynamics that was recently more elucidated by many and also by me, and neural complexity measurement that Giulio Tononi talked about, and the recently evolving idea from graph theory about the brain being organized as a small world network. All this vast literature is actually not reminded and not related to in the paper. So the paper is actually very disappointing, I think. It starts by a very promising declaration, which is true, that we really need a phase transition and a paradigm shift in the way that we look at mental disorders. But it ends up providing old, used and non-effective approaches like the biological marker, and actually missing the whole idea of applying a complex system theory to mental disorders.